Have you ever looked back on your life and wondered when the person you loved started plotting to ruin you? Adriana and I had been married for 4 years. At first, everything felt normal, stable even. We weren't a passionate couple by any means, but we got along. We paid our bills, had friends over occasionally, and went through the motions of married life. I worked long hours in construction and brought in decent money. Adriana worked part-time in an office. Things weren't thrilling, but they were solid, or so I thought. Looking back, the signs were there. Small things. Adriana had become increasingly distant. Intimacy had vanished, and she always seemed to be tired or not in the mood. I chalked it up to stress, even when she'd leave the room if I sat down beside her or flinch when I tried to hold her hand. One night, I came home to find her entertaining her friends Fiona and Gina. I wasn't in the mood for small talk, so I said a quick hello and went upstairs to relax. A little while later, I overheard them talking. Adriana was crying, saying she felt stuck in a loveless marriage, and her friends were encouraging her to leave me. Something about the whole exchange felt off. She had never brought up being unhappy to me, not once, but here she was, playing the victim. The next morning, I came down early and found Fiona snooping through my filing cabinet. She claimed she was looking for napkins but couldn't even make eye contact. Later, she tried to flirt with me when Adriana wasn't around. I brushed it off, but the pit in my stomach was growing. Something was very wrong. Then came the week. That changed everything. Adriana became suddenly cheerful and overly affectionate, almost like she was trying to cover something up. I told her I had to stay in a hotel overnight for an early morning work meeting. That night, I stayed at the XYZ Hotel, ordered room service, and watched TV alone. The next day, I was driving to work when I got a call from my friend Simon. "Dude, what the hell is going on at your house?" he asked. I blinked. "What do you mean?" "There are cops and ambulances, man. Adriana's crying on the front lawn." I felt my stomach drop. I sped home, despite my lawyer's advice to stay away. When I got to the street, it was blocked off by 3 police cars and an ambulance. Neighbors were watching from their porches. I saw Adriana sitting in the back of the ambulance, wrapped in a blanket, crying louder the moment she saw me. A cop approached me. "Sir, you need to leave immediately." "This is my house," I said. "What's going on?" "We have a report of domestic violence." I stared at him, stunned. "I wasn't even here last night. I was at a hotel. I've got receipts, a key card, witnesses. She has bruises on her arms," he said coldly. "She says you grabbed and shook her." Before I could process what was happening, another officer came over. "Are you the husband?" "Yes." "You're under arrest for assault and battery." Handcuffs, flashing lights, cell phone cameras, neighbors whispering. It felt like a nightmare. At the station, I called my lawyer. "Don't say a word to anyone," he warned. "I'm coming right now." 2 hours later, we sat down with the detective. My lawyer presented the hotel receipt, room service order, security camera timestamps. The detective's face began to shift. He left the room, came back 30 minutes later, and said, "There seems to be confusion about the timeline." Or, "The incident never happened," my lawyer snapped. I was released, but told not to return home or contact Adriana. I went back to the hotel in shock, trying to piece together how everything had unraveled so fast. Then the phone rang. It was Fiona. She was drunk and crying. "I'm so sorry," she slurred. "This wasn't supposed to happen like this. Adriana wasn't supposed to call the cops. What the hell are you talking about? She needed proof you were abusive for the divorce." I froze. "Are you saying she made this up?" "She fell at work a few days ago. I told her to take pictures and say you did it. It was my idea, but I didn't think she'd actually go to the police." I hung up and immediately called my lawyer. "Please tell me you recorded that," he said. "No, but maybe I can get her to say it again. If she calls back, record everything." An hour later, Fiona called again. This time, I recorded the whole thing, her confessing that the bruises were real but unrelated, that they'd fabricated the abuse claims to gain leverage in the divorce, that Gina might have been in on it too. The next morning, we went to the police station and played the recording for the detective. He was livid. He said Adriana and Fiona would be arrested for filing false police reports and that all charges against me would be dropped and expunged. Gina couldn't be charged due to lack of direct evidence, but it was clear she'd been involved. The fallout was swift. Adriana and Fiona each got probation, community service, and fines. Fiona also had to pay my legal fees. Adriana kept insisting I'd emotionally abused her, but the judge wasn't buying it. She walked away with only her car and personal items, no alimony, no claim to my savings or house, and she had to sign a statement saying she'd never claim I abused her again. The judge said it was one of the worst cases of manipulation he'd seen in family court. Adriana's sister came to see me weeks before the divorce was finalized. She apologized, said she never knew Adriana was lying. She'd encouraged her to leave me, yes, but only because Adriana had been painting me as a cold, controlling husband since we bought the house. That was when Adriana saw how much money I had, and apparently that's when she started plotting. The sister said Adriana claimed I never let her access money, but in reality, she had full access to our accounts and her own cards. It was all just part of a narrative to paint herself as a victim. When I asked if Adriana felt any remorse, she said Adriana still believed I emotionally abused her, working too much, handling the finances, not going out enough. All things her friends had told her were signs of abuse. She still thinks she's the victim. Today, I'm doing better. I got a raise. My family and co-workers stood by me throughout the ordeal. My boss even wrote me a character reference. I sometimes still get angry when I think about how close I came to losing everything. My job, my home, my freedom. If Fiona hadn't called me in a drunken, guilty haze, I might be in prison right now for something I didn't do. The scariest part? I was married to this woman for 4 years and had no idea she was capable of this. She could have walked away. She could have asked for a divorce, but instead, she tried to destroy me. And the worst part? If I had just stayed downstairs that night with her friends instead of going upstairs, she might never have had the victim narrative she needed to start the whole thing. But I think she would have found another way. People like that always do. All I know is this: I got out just in time, and I'll never make the mistake of ignoring my instincts again.